Alright. How many of you have something in your day or week where you say to yourself, man, I have to go and do blank today? Yeah? Well, I'm here to recommend for you to change that thinking. You'll be better for it in the long run. Stick with me and you'll find out why. The topic I chose is the influence of mindset training on performance in athletics. And this applies to my life personally because I'm a two-sport athlete here at Rutland High School. I wrestle and I play baseball here. I've always been curious as to how the mind is integrated into the sports that I love. So my focus question is, how is performance impacted by correctly training the mind in athletics? So through my research, this is a little thing that I came up with. So the winning formula: train your body, train your mind, give 100%. If you don't give 100%, you're selling yourself short, and you're just not going to get the best out of yourself. So that's something you have to control yourself. Training your body obviously applies to every athlete. You have to do that in order to be as successful as possible for your sports. The one that people mainly leave out is the second one here: train your mind. The impact on your performance through mindset is severely, it's not appreciated enough, and it's crucial to have a strong mindset. And a side note, one that I didn't add here, but have fun. In athletics especially, if you're not enjoying what you're doing, it produces a bad mood, bad attitude, decreased energy, and ultimately poor performance. So having fun is definitely a major thing that goes along with sports as well. Okay. According to a dissertation by Marissa Nichols regarding the performance of Division I college football players, the players who demonstrate a growth mindset towards athletics are also more likely to have a growth mindset in areas such as academics and their personal lives. So for those of you who aren't familiar with growth mindset, it's acknowledging that there's room to improve in specific areas. So for these athletes, it would be their athletic skills on the football field. And so as she continues with her research, she finds out that these athletes also, when they have this growth mindset for football, they similarly have growth mindset towards academics. So they recognize that there's room to improve with their studies as long as their personal lives and interacting with others regularly. And just something that I found really cool is that these athletes are at one of the highest levels of competition. These are Division I college football players, and they still think that there's room to improve in their skills, even though that they're at one of the highest levels. They're not satisfied with where they're at in terms of their skills. So Michael Jordan once said that limits, like fears, are often just an illusion. According to an interview conducted by the Toronto Star leading up to the 2008 Beijing Olympics, Canadian hurdler Perdita Felician recognized that her training and physical fitness was world-class, but she added that training her mind was the last thing that she needed to do in order to take that last step to compete for a medal at the Olympics. And this ties into the first bullet here, which is relying on yourself before anyone else. She realized that when she was going to go compete at the Olympics, her coach wasn't going to be out there when she was running. She wasn't going to have her coach out there telling her to keep on going. She wasn't going to have her support system out there on the track with her. It had to be in her own mind to make sure that she was going as hard as she could in order to compete for that medal. And so she needed to train her mind ahead of time to get her in the right state in order to go and do that. And this other one, this is just a personal thing that I found myself to be very crucial during my competition, is trusting your abilities and your training. I found that, especially during my wrestling matches, if I know that my training, my ability, if I think that that's going to carry me to success, then most times it does. But if I think that my training and abilities might not be as good as the person who I'm going to wrestle, I might lose a little bit of a step. I might be at a disadvantage because I don't believe in my capabilities. Tying back to the quote, according to Ben Askren, who is an Olympian and national champion wrestler and now a UFC fighter, people who are used to being tired and out of their comfort zone are best equipped to succeed in the high stakes moments. So with the limits thing, the people who are used to being out of their comfort zone Those are the ones that normally push through and make the play in the big moment, or come through when it's crunch time. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Wrestling mindset. This is a company, not a specific thing. I know it kind of seems like it, but this is a company, and according to their homepage, wrestlingmindset.com, Wrestling Mindset is not an ordinary mental training. They are a wrestling-specific, systematic program designed to help serious wrestlers succeed on and off the mat. So a big thing that they focus on is controllable aspects of competition. So things that only you can do for yourself when you go and compete. So for wrestling specifically, a wrestler needs to be able to move his feet and control the match and be aggressive. So those are the things that a wrestler can focus on himself. If he focuses on what the opponent is going to bring to the table, there's a better chance that they're not doing the things that they should be doing during the competition. So don't worry about the other guy is something that they really preach. And I've been a part of these mindset workshops. I do it through my club wrestling team. And according to Trey McLean, who is a mindset coach at Wrestling Mindset, who wrestled at the Air Force Academy and the University of Pennsylvania, he says you shouldn't try to be somebody else, because you'll end up being a poor version of them rather than a great version of you. So find out what works for you, focus on the things that you know you can control, because that'll produce the best results. So Wrestling Mindset has these 4 main principles, and if you don't mind, I'd like you to say them aloud with me as I go. So number 1, I'm thankful for the opportunity to compete. I am aggressive and relentless. I have no fear of losing or making mistakes. I never ever give up. So I'm going to dive into each of these a little bit. The first one, I am thankful for the opportunity to compete. This is one of the huge ones, because as I said before, how many of you see things as burdens in your life sometimes? Right? So if you switch that frame of mindset and think of things as opportunities, like, so for practice, for athletes, some people, I know some athletes who are like, oh man, I gotta go to practice later, I don't want to be there. But after I've worked with Wrestling Mindset a little bit, I try to think of practice as, like, yeah, I get to go to practice later, I get to improve on my skills so that I can become the champion that I want to be, so that I can win more, or whatever it is for that specific athlete. Looking at it as an opportunity to improve and the opportunity to compete. Number 2, I am aggressive and relentless. This doesn't necessarily, for wrestling, this doesn't necessarily going out and mugging the guy, but seeing the opportunities as they arise and being not afraid to pull the trigger and hit that move when it presents itself. That one's pretty quick. I have no fear of losing or making mistakes. This applies more to the principle of competing to win as opposed to competing not to lose. So taking opportunities as they present themselves and doing your best to focus on the things that only you can control, instead of laying back and being cautious because you're not sure if something you do is going to make you lose. And this last one, very self-explanatory, I never ever give up. It's never a good idea to quit. You want to keep persevering and doing what you can to be the best that you can be. So the takeaway. Training the mental side of sports can develop skills both in athletics and in other disciplines. So as I said before with the athletes, from the college football research, having a growth mindset in sports can also help you develop your people skills and academics as well. And as I said before, where I started, looking at things as opportunities rather than a burden is extremely beneficial, because it'll help you really get that positivity out of it, and it'll create positive results in the long run. That's my presentation. Thank you.